guys, so let's go ahead and go over this test directions really fast. So we are taking these tests, the forces of change. You really just kind of need to kind of pay attention to what is kind of all of the things that we've been talking about for the week. So we start off with talking about plate tectonics and how they are going to be part of the world, and they are like puzzle pieces, and that they are going to be shifting around. On Wednesday, we talked about internal, so things that are inside the crust, and how those plate tectonics are kind of being forced to move. And then on Thursday, we talked about external, so things outside of the crust. So, okay, this is our world. If it's inside the crust, then that is internal forces. That's going to be your earthquakes, volcanoes, your tectonic boundaries and how they're moving with each other. And then Thursday is all of our eroding and the weathering, things that are happening outside the globe. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. As you are going, I personally would have all of the PowerPoints up. You are allowed to use your notes. So I would have all of the tabs to the notes open so that I could look at a question. I could decide, okay, is that inside the earth? Is that happening outside the earth? And then I could just go and look at those notes if I needed to. So have it all open and ready. Even if you haven't completed those assignments, just having them there is really going to help you. One thing that you need to make sure that you understand is that you cannot copy and paste, okay? And that answer needs to be retyped in your own words. Make sure that you are looking at it. If you're looking at the notes, then kind of let it absorb into your brain. Kind of think of how you would say it. If you had to explain it to someone, if you had to explain it to your friend who like doesn't get it, then how would you tell them? And then that would be how you're going to write it out, okay? You cannot use my words. And some people went to Google on the last test. And guys, Google doesn't love you the way your teacher does. So please don't use Google. Use your notes. It's all in there. There are a few of them that like you really have to kind of pay attention to what kind of landform they are. Look at that Tuesday PowerPoint where you have all of those land masses there, okay? Remember that your explanation is how you are going to get your answer. So if, as you're writing, make sure that you are writing through ideas and that you are fully explaining so that I know you know what you need to know in order to get your points. The place where it says type answer here, you need to delete that and then put your answer there, okay? So try and do that. If you want to get an A, then you just need to explain your answer very well. A lot of these different slides are going to have multiple answers. You could choose, like, it will be a picture, and then you could kind of choose which landform you want to talk about. What's really going to be paying attention to is, does that landform match your explanation? So on the last test, many people lost points because they talked about how a political map was a political map because it had a river. Well, rivers don't match the political maps. Like, they weren't working together. And so that was an issue. Hold on, my alarm for Zoom. I have 2 more minutes. So that was kind of hurting kids because their explanation wasn't matching their answer. So make sure you're kind of really thinking about it, and whatever you're typing is going to match. That's where you're going to either earn your points or lose your points. If you want to make an A on this, explain your answer. There's many correct answers. It is your reasoning and explanation that's going to make it a correct answer. Let's look at our rubric. Plate tectonic theory, that is the idea that tectonic plates are, and their movement. That's what we talked about on Tuesday. And then you have slide 6 through 14, which is going to be the picture, and then you have to explain it. You have to identify, you have to define the force of creation, and then you have to provide evidence. Explain it to me why it happened the way it happened. Bonus, you get 1 point for explaining more than one force. So if you see, oh my gosh, I see this, I know it, and I know this one, go ahead and do both so that, you could pad your grade up a little bit. Your reflection, there's 2 questions there, and it's going to be 9 points for the whole thing. And then what else? This is your bonus. So if you could tell me something else about the content of what we've been talking about all week, and you could kind of explain it well enough, then that's going to be a few extra. That's going to be 5 points. On this one, for the top question, you need to, if you are not using the words plate tectonics, if you are not talking about what those arrows mean, see those arrows right there? Like if you aren't talking about what kind of movement these arrows have and what's going on, I'm seeing, lots of various kind of movement that these arrows are doing. If you aren't explaining what those arrows mean, then like the whole question just went over your head and you're going to struggle with your points. Down here where we're talking about Pangea, do you believe that all of the landforms were together and now they're kind of breaking away? Do you believe in that, or do you think that that's not true? The second question is your opinion. There's not a wrong answer. There's not a right answer, but you just need to make sure that you are answering it well enough to kind of explain so that I understand it, you understand it, stuff. Here's the pictures. Again, you have to think of your globe. Are these things happening inside the earth, or is it happening outside the earth? And that's going to help you decide which notes that you need to look at. Hopefully you can answer all of these without the notes, hopefully. So lots of things. One thing that a lot of people were asking me about was this one. This, I think, is slide 9. This is not an island. I had like two people ask me this morning if this was an island. I don't see enough of this landform to make that, to say that this is an island. So kind of keep that in mind. Here is our reflection questions. So again, these questions are opinion-based. So if you are, it doesn't matter what force you're saying is going to shape the earth more, as long as you explain it to me, okay? And whatever force that you describe, as long as your description is accurate and you're explaining it, then you're going to get your points. Guys, this really should be an easy test, okay? What else do you feel like you know from class but wasn't on the test? So what were some things that we didn't talk about? You can kind of put it here, but you only earn your points if you actually explain whatever it is. You can't put, the alphabet and then not explain to me what the alphabet is, okay? So again, you just kind of have to prove to me that you know what you're doing. We do have a Zoom in about 10 minutes, so hopefully you log on and ask questions. Bye, guys.